You're applying to roles that you can do in your sleep. You have all of the qualifications, you nail the interview, and yet you don't get the offer. Then you hear this: we think that you're overqualified for this position. Let me ask you something. Have you heard this before? Let me know in the comments. I'm Danielle Bradley. I'm a career coach and I help mid-career professionals get hired for the role that they truly want. And I hear this overqualified piece all the time from mid-career professionals. And here's something that may be helpful for you to understand. When you hear this from employers that you're overqualified, what they're really meaning is that you have the wrong positioning. It's not a qualification problem. So today I'm going to tell you exactly what this means, being overqualified, why it's happening to you, and more importantly, how to fix your positioning so that you can land the offer that you want. So let's talk about what's really happening when you're hearing that you're overqualified. First, they're worried that you're going to get bored and leave. They're thinking this person has done bigger things. They've managed large teams. They've had a lot more responsibility. Why on earth would they even want this job? They're just going to leave in 6 months when something better comes along. That's what they're thinking. The second thing they're worried about is compensation. They're thinking, we probably can't afford this person. We're not going to be able to pay the level of compensation that they're used to and that they're going to want. The third one, and it's a pretty big one, they're thinking that this person is going to maybe have a hard time taking direction. They're thinking if you've been at a director or even a VP role and you're interviewing for a manager role, it might be difficult for you to take direction from someone who might be even much younger than you. They're wondering if you might undermine a manager that might have even less experience than you have. So here's the thing, none of this is about your actual qualifications. It's about the story that your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your interview stories are telling about what you want next. And that is 100% a positioning issue, not a qualifications issue. Now, before we get into why this is happening to you, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you'll be notified when I publish a new video, which I do every single week. So why is this happening to you? Let me share what I see frequently with mid-career professionals. Your resume might read a little bit like a history book. So much information. You have decades of work experience and your resume and LinkedIn profile. What this means is the hiring manager is having a hard time translating your experience to the role that they're hiring for. If you were at a director or even VP role and now you're applying and interviewing for manager roles, but your resume is highlighting director or VP level accomplishments like managing $150 million budget and things like that, then you're not positioning yourself correctly for what you're now seeking. In that situation, your resume and LinkedIn profile will be sending the message that you still want a director or a VP role, not a manager role. So it doesn't quite land on the other side if you're open to a manager position as well. Even if you're genuinely interested in taking a step back in your career, let's say, and you are totally fine with a manager role because it's going to give you better work-life balance, if your documents position you at that higher level, it's not going to result in you being able to very genuinely position yourself for that type of role. The hiring manager will think that they're going to get bored, they're overqualified, or we can't afford them, they're going to leave. So the solution here is to fix your positioning. How do you do that? You need to make it crystal clear in your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letters, and your interview stories why you want the role that you've decided is your target. So important. Let me break this down into 3 steps. Step number 1 is getting clear on your target role. You want to have a clear idea of the type of role that you want at this stage of your career, and everything needs to position you for that. Your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letters, your interviews, everything needs to point to that type of role that you want. Not someone who's a jack of all trades and could do this wide range of roles, which of course you can, but we need to dial in that positioning so it doesn't cause those issues down the road of being told that you're overqualified. Step number 2 is you need to reframe your experience. Instead of listing everything that you've ever done, you want to focus on the items that will be the most relevant, and you want to curate your documents to the role that you are targeting. It's important to strike the right note here. If you are going for a manager level, we want to emphasize the manager accomplishments. If you are going after a director or a VP role, then we do need to position you for the level of leadership and expertise that you bring for those types of roles. We're not lying here, we're not hiding anything. We're emphasizing what's going to be most relevant. Step number 3 is telling the story in your interviews. This is where, unfortunately, a lot of people drop the ball. They get to the interview and they don't address the elephant in the room. If you are clearly overqualified on paper, the hiring manager is going to ask themselves this question: why does this person want this role? So you need to tell them proactively. Now, this will depend on the situation, so let me just give you an example. You may say something like this: I know my background may lead you to believe I might be overqualified for this role, but let me tell you why I'm truly excited about it. I've spent the last 10 years in leadership, and what I've come to realize is that I prefer the strategy and execution more than managing people. This role is perfect for what I want to focus my energy on moving forward. See how this works? We're addressing their concerns proactively, ahead of time, in a strategic way. We're controlling the narrative. We're positioning ourselves as someone who truly wants the role, not someone who's going to settle for it. Now, I have a real life example of my own when I was still in corporate. After a layoff in mid-career, I was looking for a new role for quite some time. This is before I became a career coach. And at that time, I decided that I did want to take a step back in my corporate career so that I could have more time and energy to dedicate to building this business on the side. So I interviewed with an amazing company for a role that was an individual contributor role. Meanwhile, I had managed teams of hundreds of people prior to this. For sure, they would have thought that I'm totally overqualified, and I was also about 10 years older than the immediate manager and his boss. But I was able to convey my excitement for that position very carefully and very clearly. In my interview stories, I shared that in my prior role, one of the things that I really did not enjoy was having to make $3,000 decisions, for example, with a team of senior managers around the boardroom. 20 senior managers, say, making a $3,000 decision. That was a lot of red tape. I did not love that. I much preferred where we are able to go to, as the salesperson, go to the marketing director's office, come up with a plan to develop a certain area of the business, and walk out of there and execute and get the incremental volume. I explained that in my interview stories and showed my level of excitement for the exact type of role that I was being interviewed for. And that resulted in an offer. That's what having the right position can truly do for you. So here's what I suggest you do if this is happening to you. If you keep hearing that you're overqualified, it's time to fix your positioning. Ask yourself, is my resume, LinkedIn profile, and my interview stories, are they telling the right story? Are they positioning me correctly for the roles that I'm pursuing now? If not, then you have some work to do, and I might be able to help. If you would like my eyes to audit your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your positioning, then I invite you to book a call, and you'll find the link to do that right below this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell to be notified when I publish new videos each and every week. And let me know in the comments, have you been told that you're overqualified? I'd love to hear your story.